All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vincedor's Win Your Day podcast. And I'm so excited. Today we have with us Darby and Daphne. They are entrepreneurs with background in engineering and education. I'm so excited to have them. And like they say, it's the little wins that makes a winning life. So we are ready to bring in a new episode for you from Vincedor's Win Your Day podcast. Welcome, Darby and Daphne. I'm so excited to have you both.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Katie. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to an amazing, podcast today.
We're going to have some great time for sure.
Yes.
I don't know about the podcast, but we're going to enjoy ourselves for sure.
Yes,
That's
sure.
That's one of my goals in 2023 is to have a lot of fun and enjoy life. Why not, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Darby and Daphne, we're going to talk. I think this is so apt to the timing of this podcast to discuss about how to make the best out of this new year.
Yeah.
And to get us started, I'm just going to give some context, just some thoughts. And I'm looking forward to talk to you a little bit on just some questions, some thoughts we can pick from you so we all can make this as a fantastic year.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of people who are going to be tuning in today, they're going to benefit from this for sure. Okay. Now, something that I really like about New Year's is it just brings in that new hope. It's fresh. I don't know what's the difference. You sleep on December 31st as a person, and on January 1st, at least for me and for my wife, we wake up just that much excited saying, oh, this year is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
And trust me, there have been years when we walked in the new year like, what's a big deal? And actually, it was not a big deal. So I like to treat a new year special. And I like to talk about this because that's a unique opportunity we get once a year to reset, forget about everything in the past, and then just charge forward in your future. So I always look forward to New Year's. Now, here's a cool thing. We all have resolutions. We all set goals. And Darby and Daphne, I'm sure you're aware of this. It's the week 3rd. And about day 23 is when people are like, yeah, big deal. This is just one more year. And they go back to their original patterns.
Exactly.
I'm hoping today's podcast can give people that little idea on how to keep going, how to keep pushing forward, how to make some progress that they want to make for themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So Darby and Daphne, let's kick this off. Let's talk about this first thing. For New Year's, someone who's just listening in and they want this year to be different. They don't want this to be just one more year for them. Where can they start? And is it even important to think of New Year as a new year? Why not just think of it just another day and just another year?
Yeah. And that's a great question. Because for us, we come into the new year and we have a certain type of mindset. And anything I say today, genuinely speaking, we're speaking to ourselves because we know that it's week 3. Even going to the gym, the parking lot is getting a little empty. So we like it, right? But, it might not be positive for everybody else. But we're speaking to ourselves, when we even say that for us, we go into the year saying that we have to have a purpose-driven year. And what does that mean to us? It's saying, okay, if we want to maximize the year, the first thing is when we hear that statement, it's actually an action statement to us.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what can we do to maximize the year? But the first thing before even any kind of action is you have to make the decision that you do want to maximize this year, right? You have to make the decision that this year I'm going to step out my comfort zone. This year I want to do things a bit different because society might look at it, odd, right? When you do things different, but we know that that's where success lays. And the other thing is just a mindset change, right? We want to make decisions to change our mindset.
Mm-hmm. I like the statement you made when you kicked off the podcast of it's a fresh start, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like in a way like shedding skin, like you become this fresh person. I don't know. That's probably a weird analogy.
Yeah, that's how I lost 2 pounds. I'm like, I shed some skin. I'm 2 pounds light.
You shed the skin from last year and then you get fresh, a fresh new set, but you're not going to go back and put that old skin back on, right? You're going to stay fresh. That's the mindset you kind of want to be in. And the way to stay away from trying to go back into your comfort zone or back into your old self is to make small changes and stay away from the drastic ones, right? The drastic changes you find are not sustainable. So if you're saying, you know what, I got to start this year off right. I'm going to lose 10 pounds in a month. I have to do it right now because I fell back from last year. I was supposed to lose that 10 pounds last year. So let me catch up. That's pretty drastic and unrealistic. So how likely are you going to actually stick to that goal? And right there, you've already set off your year not well.
Yeah.
Right. Have a plan around the goals that are realistic. So you have, your realistic goals written down. They make sense. You feel like they're doable. Have a plan and some structure. We find will help you be consistent, persistent, and be able to, stay the course. The way we feel is the easiest to stay in that mindset is honing in on the time management skill.
Yep.
Yeah. A calendar, a to-do list. I don't know what your learning style is, but for us, calendar and to-do list, Katie just told us about Trello, life-changing. It's amazing. You can set up so many different lists according to category, but I won't even go into detail. They need to sponsor us.
And for us, genuinely speaking, before we ever use the calendar, we have discussions saying, how did we keep track of anything?
Yes.
Right? Trying to, maximize a year and you're not even keeping track of anything.
Yes.
So
Very
that's
odd.
important.
Don't
for sure.
use Post-it notes or weird things that you're gonna lose and spill coffee on and be like, wait, what was that day again? But yeah, if we don't use our calendar, we are lost, honestly. But getting more serious about those goals, you have to attach a why to it. Whatever goals you have set, attach a why. So for someone who is trying to lose weight, or I keep using weight, but if you are genuine,
That's a good goal. That's a good
it
goal.
is. It's
Actually, I had a friend I was talking to, total segue though. I was talking to a friend. He says, man, last year my goal was to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, so what's this year? He's like, I have to lose 15 now. In 5. So.
Yeah, it's sad. You don't want to keep playing catch up and then what, next year's 20 and then it's 25. You don't want to do that. It's a bad pattern to be in. But attach a why. Sometimes it's drastic. You don't ever want to get to that point where the doctor is saying, hey, you have to lose weight. But that's a why. That's a big enough why to say, I have to lose weight this year. And we'll keep you pretty serious, I feel. But you could use a smaller goal, like, I want to save money, so I'm going to stop going to the hair salon. I say that because I really mean it.
Like I said,
good for you, Davi. That's good for you. That's a good resolution. That's good for you, Davi.
We start doing my own hair. So it's, I want more money in my pocket. So that's the why. And it's going to keep me away from, those high hair salon prices. But yeah, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, no, that's it really.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. I like that. I especially liked when you talked about, attach a why to what you're trying to accomplish. But let's go a step back. Someone who's just tuning in, they've partied on December 31st and the 1st of January. They've looked forward. They have hope that this year is going to be different, but hope is not a goal, right? Hope is not a game plan. There is no game plan in hope, and it never changes that way. So someone could be as naive as I was, maybe, 10 years back, who had no idea about goal setting, what areas to set goals in. Can you shed some light on some very basic things? Let's say for you both, where do I start tackling this year? What area should I focus on? I have no idea about goal setting. Where do I even start from? And what areas should I pick for myself?
Yeah, so for me, the first thing is I'm thinking about myself when I'm saying, hey, I want to go into a year and I want to achieve certain things. The first thing is, I would say, write down what you want to achieve. Because if you don't know what you even want to achieve, you're not working towards anything. It's like climbing up you want to save a dog, right? And the dog is on building A, but you're climbing up building B. Right? You climb that building for no reason. So know the reason why. So when you do that, now you can take action steps towards it, right? For us, our thing was, okay, where can we find individuals who have accomplished what we want to accomplish in life, right? That was our thing, saying, okay, because if we could find a mentor that we could speak to and open up to about, they could at least show us, say, hey, look, this is how you go about it. That's a step. Right. So look into where can I find, someone that could walk, the path that I want to walk.
Yeah. It's important to realize you can't just pick anyone off the street and say, hey, can you mentor me? But it's someone who has achieved something that you are looking to achieve more specifically. Right. But to hone in on that focus and what areas you want us to touch on. There's something called 4 pillars of life. So I feel like that's a good start. You know, you get some categories and you now categorize different using Dobby's questions, actually, like where do you want your life to be in this area? So the 4 pillars are health, spirituality, finances, and relationships. Perfect way to start. How do I want these things to be better? What do I want these things to look like by the end of the year? An example for health, I keep talking about losing weight, but healthy. You have to eat better, right? You have to exercise at least 30 minutes a day. You hear these things from your doctor, you know what you have to do. So setting those goals around health, you have a bigger goal of, I want to lose weight. And now you say, for health, I'm going to do 30 minutes a day on the treadmill. I'm going to have a salad once a week. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
Relationships, setting it around the roles that you play in life. So I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. So how do I want those relationships to look by the end of this year? Setting goals around that. Finances, you want to build your asset bigger, but you are your first asset and you've been toying around with that, let's say. So for this year, you want a finance goal of committing to investing a specific amount to your business each month, but you're committing to that, right? That's what you want to hone in on for finances. And for spirituality, us specifically, we're Christian. So a good example would be spend time with God first thing in the morning and right before bed. So that's what it looks like to work within those 4 pillars and setting goals to, make sure those pillars are up and secure. Yep. And not saying I'm going to master this pillar and this one, but these other 2, I don't really care about. Because what happens is if you have one pillar knock over, if you think about pillars being close in proximity, one falls over, all the others topple over. So now you're not living a wholesome life. You want all of them to coincide, work in harmony together so that you can live that wholesome life. Have a good, wholesome year.
Even though those 4 pillars Daphne speaks about, if you think about it, just save those 4 and look for books that help you develop in those 4 pillars. Finances, you find a book on that. Spirituality, health, relationship, and for us, that's how we go about it. Saying, okay, we want to build our relationship stronger and stronger. Okay, what books are out there that can make us better people individually, but for each other as well? Same thing, spirituality, finances. And one recommendation for someone who's saying, hey, I don't know where to start. A great book is called The Magic of Thinking Big, right? It's a good book for you to start off with. And it's going to help you start expanding your mind from being someone who maybe you weren't thinking big, right? You weren't really looking at yourself as, maybe you were scared of failure, right? So now it starts stretching you a little bit, stretching your mind to start thinking differently, as we touched on.
Those are good points. And, when it comes down to I know for me personally, when I get goals down on paper or whatever it may be, it kind of looks intimidating if you don't get it organized. And a good way to organize those goals is by monthly, breaking it down into weekly, and then breaking it down into daily task. That way, you can chew at that big, intimidating goal that, everything that is just, it all looks like scrambled eggs. We just
That's
have it written down.
Right? How do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time.
Exactly.
I don't know who eats elephant though, but
yeah. But you just want to break it down that way. And then when you have those daily to-do lists or those daily tasks set for each week, from there, like you said, you don't climb a mountain by jumping straight to the top. You climb a mountain step by step. So that's what those daily tasks help you with. It makes you feel like, okay, this is achievable.
Yes.
Nice. I love that. I love those 4 pillars. Actually, I picked that up from one of a very successful gentlemen. He talked about 4 pillars of life. He talked about health, same like you were talking about spirituality or relationships and your finances. And I remember hearing this from somewhere. It says, make a habit of saving money. It's not about how much, it's about that action of saving. So you become a person who can handle your money versus how much money.
Yeah.
And there are people follow different patterns for that. They say every week let's say I'm going to start with first week, say $1, and next week I'm going to double it. It's amazing. By week 52, you actually have to save quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And your year end's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I like that. It's funny you talk about that book, Magic of Thinking Big. Someone gave me that book and I got stuck on the first page because that big was so big on the cover page. I was like, why is this big so big? It's just, I spent years just staring at the thing and I'm like, maybe I should read this book. It was a good read. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Now that was really good. I love that. I love that fact that anyone who's listening in could start with those 4 different areas and they could pick small goals in each area. And also I like the fact that you said action related goals, because if I put my goals towards results and I don't map out a game plan and tasks to accomplish those results, I'm setting myself up for failure.
Yep.
At least I feel I'm better than a person who has no intentions at all.
Yeah.
If I set health goals, even if I set a result goal, like I want to be 165 pound, that's my goal. I want to reduce weight. If Nidhi is listening to this, my wife, she'll be like, why do you guys want to lose weight? Like I'm trying to gain weight. So we just have a barter system going. I'm like, you take my weight. She's like, can't do it. Anyhow, so if I set a goal saying I want to be at 165 pound and I just do that and leave it at that, my actions may still not align towards that progress, towards that goal. But if I say, oh yeah, I'll start maybe eating a salad, go for a walk, go for a run. And I like that part of, when you do workout, we compound some exercises. I learned from someone very successful. They said, start compounding your life a little bit. Like when you maybe you're going for a walk with your family, you could actually go as a walk for family together. So you're building a relationship, you're spending time together as a family, and also you're engaging rather than just sitting and flipping Netflix channels. I think I like a walk much better.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your kind of weather in Connecticut if I want to go for a walk, but Georgia is much better, So I love that. Say that again.
No, it's way too cold out here.
Way too cold. Can't go for a walk. Netflix is much better,
Yeah, 100%.
So I like that compound an activity, another activity, and hit 2 goals together. No, that's great. Also, I want to touch upon this. I want to get your perspective on this. A lot of time people don't look at a new year as a new year because they're still stuck in the past. Still, I heard it recently. It was very beautifully said. They're still carrying the mountains that they should have climbed.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
They are just stuck there. And any word of advice for people? Maybe they had a bad 2022. Maybe their relationships hurt somewhere. Maybe financially 2022 must have been challenging for everyone. My God, inflation was like this. Oh my God. So, but anyhow, maybe 2022 was not that great a year for someone. How can I get a just new attitude? And is it even important before I start attacking my goals?
Yeah, 100%. A new attitude is important. And one thing is understanding that, okay, that's the past. Let's come in now and let's say, okay, I want to take care of one important thing. And this one important thing I'm going to take care of. If I take care of this one thing, everything else is going to fall into place. So everybody has that one thing. It might be spirituality. Maybe you fell up somewhere, right? Take care of that one thing. So maybe mentally you're in a good space. Then start going into other things like, okay, now I figured out where I am spiritually or, relationship wise, whatever it is. Now I need to hold myself accountable. But the thing is, when you talk about holding yourself accountable, I heard Kobe say once, do not negotiate with yourself.
Nice.
Because if you negotiate with yourself, you always fail. Right? If I, honestly speaking, if I see a nice looking burger right there and I'm on a diet and I sit there and negotiate with myself, that burger will win. I'll win because, my body wants it, right? So don't even do that to yourself. But also find people that can hold you accountable. It could be friends, family. Just find an accountability partner that could text you every single day in whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. I'm thinking more into that too, in a different kind of light. Like, how important were those goals in the first place? How are you going to keep revisiting the same thing? Do you really need to be a sneaker collector? Like, how important was that? If you're letting it roll over constantly, how important is it to, where you actually want to be? Does it align with your values and, where you where you see yourself, honestly. So I'm thinking of that, but also lost my train of thought.
No, that was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
if the goals that you've set, are they really even, are they even in direction of your values? Like, are they aligned with your values? Because if not, then even if you push through it, you might accomplish them, and then you go, oh, well, I don't feel that great because it was never something that was aligned with your values. So I like that. I like that definitely. Yeah.
Correct.
And yeah, I'd also say your self-talk is important too. If it is an important goal and you just missed the mark, self-talk plays a huge part. I feel like that's kind of underrated. Like people forget about that part of it because it's something that happens so subconsciously. Like throughout the day, listen to yourself, actually. Listen to what you're saying to yourself. And I'm speaking to me right now.
That right there was so scary for me. First time someone told me about self-talk, I'm like, I'm an engineer. Last time I heard someone talking to themselves was my grandma, and crazy. This is not what I wanted to sign up for. So
it could be out
yeah,
loud, it could be in your head. But
yeah, today I do believe there is definitely those affirmations, and self-talk does help you align a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So positive self-talk, I'd say. Check that, because that negative self-talk will keep you that old version of yourself over and over and over. You telling yourself, you know what, I can't do it, or this is too hard, or this is taking too long. That's negative self-talk. But you can have simple self-talk like, I can do it.
Yep.
You can say that over and over throughout the day. Whenever you get that feeling of, I'm ready to give up, I can do it. That's a good way to self-talk.
Yeah. And one thing I heard was complaining is actually an addiction. So some people, they set this goal. They set that goal in 2015, and we're in 2023, and every year they miss the goal, but they just keep complaining because you're addicted to that complaining side of things. But the thing is, there are also people who are living a good life, and that good life is actually stopping them from hitting that goal or accomplishing that thing they want to accomplish. They're so stuck in that comfort zone that it's like, why do I step out of it? And it goes back to what you said in terms of like, does that really match with your values? Like, why is that important to you? So saying the hardest thing might actually be living a good life and making the decision that you want to step out that comfort zone. That might be even more difficult than saying, I don't have anything and I need to make something out of this.
That's right. That's right. And personally for myself, there were years when I had to remind myself, I know I worked hard. I didn't accomplish what I set to accomplish. But if I bring in that negative attitude into new year, then I'm not really stepping into new year. This is still the old year. And it's so crazy when you revisit your bad memories, like those moments when you couldn't win or you messed up. You actually, even when you revisit those memories, you're reliving them.
Yeah.
And reliving that feeling is just not good. So I said, I got to drop that. I got to stop carrying all that with me. I'm going to look at a new year and a fresh start so that I can accomplish at least this year what I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And otherwise it can be every year, if I take the baggage and I keep carrying, by the time it's year 10, man, I can't walk because I've been just carrying the load so much for myself. So no, that's great. Thank you for touching on that topic.
Katie, can I say one thing?
Yeah, please.
That baggage reminded me of this subtraction that you need to do, right? Subtracting helps you take on more. So letting go of that old baggage that you don't need will allow more space for the new good habits that you want to implement for this year, or, space for a new mindset around that goal that you were trying to work on before. So subtracting allows for addition, is something that I've heard many times.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And sometimes all I had to do, Daphne, was subtract my negative attitude.
Yeah.
I had a great life going for myself, but my attitude was stinking. So I was like, man, I got to drop this thing. I've got a good positive attitude. And, we talk, sometimes it happens, right? You get a soundtrack that gets stuck in your head. So I've put some soundtrack over a period of time in my head. And one of the things, anytime I want to complain, is life does not happen to you. Life happens for you.
Yeah.
So I take everything in my stride. Whatever happened past year was setting me up for victory for this year.
Yeah.
And I just take it in my stride and I move forward with that. Yeah.
No,
wonderful. This has been a great discussion. A couple of more things before we start winding this. So let's say one of the person is listening to this and they say, yeah, I want to make progress. I have my goals set, but like it or not, they're going to hit some not so good days.
Yep.
And those are the moments when you have to decide, should I push forward? Just give up on my goal? What should I do? Should I even prepare and plan for something that might slow me down and some challenges I might run into? What's your take on that?
Yeah, the thing is with life is we have to prepare, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So you have to go into the year knowing that, okay, this is not going to be a straight line, right? There are going to be bumps along the way, but set yourself in the space where, hey, if there are bumps along the way, I'm not going to give up on my dreams or my goals for the year because I have a reason why, right? It stems back to, why are you even trying to accomplish this in the first place? And sometimes what people do that even might hinder them, and it's not even necessarily life, is comparison, right? Someone who stick with the weight analogy, they start going to the gym with someone, and the person they're going to the gym with is losing, body fat at a rapid pace, right? They're 10 pounds down and you're still 5 pounds down. That's a hurdle for you, but you're comparing yourself to somebody else, and they say comparison is the thief of all joy.
Oh, wow.
Right? So at that point,
that was good. Say that again.
Yeah, comparison is the thief of all joy.
Love it.
Yeah. And at that point, that's when you start actually pushing back, right? And now you might start gaining weight because you're not happy. You're comparing yourself. And the thing, I heard this one thing was, there was a guy who was complaining about his situation, his hurdles. And he got a chance to join a bunch of people, like 100 people in the room. And he said, okay, you guys are all complaining about your situations, the bumps in the road you faced. Throw all your bumps in the road, all your situations in your life in a bucket. And when you throw it in the bucket, you're going to get a chance to pick a different life, a different situation where you feel like there are no bumps. So everybody ran to the bucket, picked out, everything. And they were all happy because at face value, what they saw in the bucket was like the cover of a book, right? You can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. And this guy picked up someone else's life. And he's like, wow, I'm a millionaire. But the thing is, he walked into that place to pick it up, but he left being carried out because he was a millionaire, but he couldn't use his legs ever again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
So at that point, it makes you think, okay, that's part of it, right? A bump in the road might be, stop looking at IG or Instagram a little too much, comparing yourself when you're trying to grow, so that could be an example of a bump in the road.
That's true. I mean, after having Micah, we have a 7-month-old baby. It's, it's tough for moms after you're like, oh, I have to lose this weight now. I just gained how much I held a human in my body now. But then you see celebrities like, I had a baby yesterday. I'm, 100 pounds. And you're like, oh, like, how do you do that? So it, it makes you feel like it's impossible, right? When you're now looking at someone else's lane. But I've heard from our mentors to keep the blinders on like a racehorse, right? They don't know what's going on next to them. They're just like, I'm headed to the finish line. So that's a good mindset to have when it comes to that.
And what could help as well going into the year, once you've made your decision, and all part of that is saying, okay, I know something is going to come up. So you have to make sure you have clear boundaries, clear boundaries when things happen. But also you have to know what you stand for. Because if you stand for everything, you fall for everything as well. So make sure you know where you stand for, you stay within your boundaries. And when life happens, you might deviate just a little bit, but you're coming right back because you know your boundaries, right? You're not running around in a circle.
My new favorite statement is no is a complete sentence.
Yes. I love that. The first time I heard that was from media, actually. Yes.
No is a complete sentence. Yes, it is. And it works magic when it comes to you saying, the course. If you have something more important to do and someone's now dragging you to something that you really do enjoy, what is going to matter in the future? What's going to matter long term? And that's the hardest part in the present, because you're not thinking about what this will do for me at the end of the year, but you're like, well, I really do like brunch and I'm hungry. So you can't let those present feelings affect how or where you'll end up long term.
Yeah, instant
Yeah,
gratification.
the instant gratification. That's
Yeah.
the perfect statement. So when you have too many commitments, to touch on that, setting boundaries, we find that that's an obstacle when you have too many commitments. I'm going to pull myself here, pull myself there, because I'm not saying no to anyone and I'm not prioritizing myself specifically. That's that subtract in order to add, right? So you don't have so much going on. You can focus, and not to say that you can't have fun, but do it
within your boundaries.
Yeah, within your boundaries. Do it, just keep it at a minimum so that it's not overtaking the lane you're trying to stay in.
Yeah. It's like consciously deciding what you're going to do versus just, I'm bored, so I'm just going to eat this. I'm bored, so I'm just going to binge watch. I think boredom is such a thing. It's crazy. They say, I heard this recently. They say, if you ask a person from countryside to just sit there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, they'll wait. They'll just sit there. They go, okay, yeah, sure. And he asks us, like, can you wait for 10 minutes? Like, 10 minutes. And you don't have your phone on you for those 10 minutes. You're like,
no.
So yeah, that instant gratification, and sometimes just being bored and making conscious choices versus just going with the flow. No, guys, this has been wonderful. Give me some last tips on how to finish strong, and let me give you some context. Right, I'm a new person listening into this, and I said, okay, I'll set some goals. I'll drop my baggage from the past. I'm going to look at this new year in a fresh new light. This is new 365 days. Actually, we are left with what, 360 now?
Yeah.
No, 330. We're left with 330.
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost end of the first month. Anyhow, the person says, I'm going to see this new year in next new light. It's 330 more days. So many hours I have. So I'm going to start planning my life a little bit. I'm prepared for those challenges that I might encounter. I'm not going to compare myself with others. Even if I fall down, I'll dust myself and lift myself up. Versus being like me, I used to fall down and then I would stay in the dust. I'll eat the dust. The dust is in my eyes, in my ears, and then I'm complaining, crying. And I'm like, shut up, get up. Okay, I got up. But let's say the person is ready for that. Now, how do they finish strong? Because somewhere in the middle, just things start happening here and there, right? So how do I finish strong this next year, like this 2023? How to finish it strong?
It's true. I first want to say it's important to set that mindset before you even get to that point. So now that you're hearing it, better, do better. But let's say, it's January 1st. To finish strong, you have to tell yourself a successful year is a successful 52 weeks. So you're now setting yourself up so that each week is embedded in whatever you're trying to succeed in. So every week has a plan and you are executing that plan. If you are executing that plan every single week, there's no way you can't finish strong. Just be consistent in that. But just also mentally preparing yourself around the actual focus and work that it will take. So this is really a mindset thing. Like, the only way to finish strong is to tell yourself that you can do it. You can focus, you can do the work because you have the plan for it. Right. If you don't, you're in shambles. Yes. So that's that.
Yeah. And the thing is, when the year starts, we're like this. Like I said, we're speaking because we're like this. We're getting everything done. This year is going to be amazing. This is the year that everything is, all our goals are going to hit. It's going to be perfect. And we recently heard a quote that really changed our mindset. And it said, it's better to be a live dog than a dead lion. And for us, we said, okay, so it's better for us to just be consistent, right? A lion is strong, right? At one go, he could take whatever animal down. It's the king of the jungle. Yeah. And if you see a lion compared to a dog, it doesn't mean anything. But if the lion is dead, the dog has the meat, the food in the jungle, right? Because the dog is consistent. So for us is, how can we be the live dog all year round? And that's the same advice we'll give to anybody. Just be consistent.
Yeah.
A week at a time, a day at a time.
That's awesome. I love that. It reminds me, I was reading an article. Warren Buffett talked exactly about the same thing in a different fashion. But he said the reason I became successful is because I didn't get burnt out.
Mm,
He's like, I knew my pace. I was not in rush to become successful and rich, but I wanted to be rich and successful. So I set myself up and I never competed with someone else. I just wanted to be a better person every single day.
Yeah.
wow.
So I love that. And I think the word he used was sustainability. He's like, I said, no, survivability. He says, I set
Mm,
myself up for survivability. I just wanted to survive in every season so that I can win when my time comes. And I
wow.
love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's amazing.
Excellent. So you guys tell us some goals that you have. Maybe one or two goals you want to shout out.
Yeah.
If they're not too personal, if you are okay to share with everyone, any goals you have.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, new mom here, and I'm working on getting back to pre-mom weight, but that just looks like me being consistent with the gyms. I think that's why I keep bringing it up. It's like that's on my mind.
It's on your mind.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
but just yeah.
Yeah, so for sure, a healthier lifestyle. And for us, yes, we work 9 to 5, but also we're entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So our goal is, just scale our business, even more and more every week, every month, every year. So those are our main goals: healthy lifestyle, spiritually, mentally, but also, in the entrepreneurial space as well. Scale everything.
Awesome. This year I'm living by this mantra, and I heard it from somewhere in some of the podcasts. It says, some beats none.
Mm,
Some beats none. So not every day we may be able to do the whole 9, 10 things that we set ourselves up to do. Maybe we said, I'm going to work out for us 30 minutes every day, but someday you just don't feel like it. It's just hard. You don't want to negotiate, but you end up negotiating. But then my soundtrack is some beats none. I'll just go for a 5 minutes run, maybe 10 minutes, because 10 minutes is much better than zero. It may not be as good as 30, but compared to the zero, it's much better. So
It's true.
yeah. Thank you, Darby and Daphne, for taking out time. I'm sure with the little one at home, it must be a busy household, but for you both to be here and just talking to everyone, I think this is incredible. So I enjoyed talking to you, picked up so many wonderful thoughts. And I love that when you said no is a complete sentence.
mm.
And in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, that's right. But if Darby was talking about that burger, then I say no burger, then no, it's not a complete statement. The burger talks back. It says, no, we can have it. We can.
I can have you.
But thank you so much. Jokes
Yeah,
apart. I had fun
thank
talking
you.
to you both. Yeah. You guys have a blessed evening. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
you
you very
too.
much. Appreciate
Yes.
it.
For everyone else tuning in, we'll say you bye from here.